So we finished up our time today at Arches National Park. This morning we did manage to beat the rain, kind of. We got some hiking in at some of the less popular sites, and they weren't too crowded, but just within the span of a few hours, the park started to get crowded. There's people everywhere, and we decided, okay, time for us to head towards the exit. We made it as far as Park Avenue inside the park. It's this like gigantic area. It kind of resembles like the old Wall Street with like the big buildings going down the streets. We made it there and it started to rain, so we came back in the camper and we kind of hung out in the camper, had some breakfast, and then while it was raining we took a nap. After we took naps, it had stopped raining. We went out, we wandered around the park area there and had a good time. Finished up, went into town, did some lunch in Moab, and then we kind of like scooted on down out of town. So now we're about 35 miles down the road, and it's still a little bit overcast, but it is windy. So we've got our back door open just to let in a little bit of air, to keep the air moving through here. But it's so windy and dusty. Let me show you what we've got. So this is our table. That's dust. So that's just from the past, I don't know, hour and a half of being here with our back door open. If you look over here in the seat, we've actually got this fine layer of dust. It's so fine, it's almost like talcum powder. So next on the agenda then, I was going to cook dinner, but I think now I'm actually going to do a little cleaning, do some wipe down, and then we'll move on to cooking dinner. So just another exciting day in the life of boondockers when you're boondocking in the middle of nowhere. And this is what it looks like right now outside our back door. So it has gotten really windy, guys. So we read somewhere, Noel read, that if you drop down the truck camper side supports all the way down to the ground, that'll give you a little more stability. We're kind of rocking and rolling in here, kind of like we're out on the water in a boat. So we're gonna leave the Happy Jacks or whatever, the quick connect on the camper. We're just gonna bring down the jacks to ground level to try to keep us from rocking side to side so much. So it's really windy out there, so I'm not even gonna try to talk to you once we're out there. We're just gonna do what we need to do and try to get back in here and before we get too dusty. Okay, let's go. One, two, Okay, so we're back in. I'd probably give you a good idea of why, you know, we're kind of swaying around so much outside. So what we did was we dropped are they called jacks? What are they called?
Oh, I think they're called.
Uh,
Something is Happy Jack and something is a Fast Track or
I think these
Fast Jack.
No, Fast Jack is what we use to lock the camper to the truck. Happy Jack, I think, is what we are using to raise the camper off of the truck.
Okay.
Anyway, our pneumatic devices we just dropped down, so they just barely put, I was just trying to get pressure between the jack and the ground. I'm not trying to raise the camper because the camper is still connected to the truck.
To the Fast Jacks.
Yeah, so if I went too high with the jacks, we'd actually tear out our 4 supports. So I was just trying to get pressure from each of these jacks to the ground to try to keep us from going side to side. I can tell you right now, already it does feel a little bit calmer in here to me.
It does to me as well.
All right, so there's 2 of us.
2 of 2.
2 of 2, so it's unanimous. This was an improvement. But I guess the big test comes later tonight and how we sleep. So we'll let you know that tomorrow.
But for now, I'm going to get the blood off my leg from where I backed into a cactus. This cameraman is not very agile out there.
Show us your injury. You have an injury?
I have a little small injury.
Where's it at?
Oh, stop. Anyways.
Hey, morning everybody. Thought I'd show you real quick. This is the dust that's sitting on our window ledge on the truck from last night. So this is just a real fine dust. It's just like talcum powder. And boy, it just went everywhere. So this morning's order of business is really to raise up the jacks, get these guys up off the ground, and we start working our way down the road. So when I did this last night, I did each of these jacks independently. To lift them all up, though, I think we can just do them all simultaneously. Oh, there we go. Light is on.
So, you might have seen Steve putting these away one time in the video, and you might have seen us using them last night in that crazy windstorm. It's just a set of levelers. They look like giant Legos. They screw back together in a nice little pile so that they stay together. Pretty handy. We put them under our back tires. Obviously, we had to put 2 because of dually. Which actually surprised me the first time that Steve did it, and then I was like, oh yeah, duh. So that's what they are, that's what they're for, just keep things level, keep you from not sinking in the sand, whatever. So what do you think about last night and having jacks down?
I think it worked. I was a little surprised. little nervous. You know, if we got these, oh, we need to tighten this one up.
Okay.
But if we put it underneath here, and then
Fast gun, that's what it's called.
fast gun. Okay. If we raise this, if we raise too much, I would actually pull this tight and then yank this out. So that's why I was a little apprehensive about it. So we just lowered them low enough just to get like a little bit of pressure, downward pressure on them, and it seemed to make a big difference. So I would do it again, actually.
So I thought I'd show you where we've been, where it's so windy. This is our view from the last night. We are about 2 miles from the entrance to Canyonland National Park. Where we're headed now, after a later start than we anticipated. Last night, one other van stayed right over here, and they were gone before we got up. We had alarms set for 6:30. One of us kept hitting snooze, so we didn't get up that early. But it's only like, I don't know, 8:30 now, I think. So we're gonna head over. Hopefully this park's not full. Our experience the last couple of days is that we've had to go into Arches, like one morning 6:30, one morning 5:30, in order to beat all the crowds. So we'll see how it is going into Canyonland today, if it's quite as busy as Arches. Could be that it's 8:30 and we're already too late. Who knows? Anyway, it's gorgeous out here. I really want to go exploring and climbing one of those hoodoo things. Is that called a hoodoo? I don't know. But they're super cool.
So we noticed this was just a little bit loose when Noelle was just over here. We were chatting. So we haven't talked about this before, but I went with master locks when we got the jacks. Fast guns. These cost us, I want to say, about $600, and I don't want them to just walk away on us. I looked at, you can buy like specialty locks that go on here that are nice and tight and compact, and they were pretty expensive. So I went with a set of 4 master locks. I had them keyed, so they're all the same. I shoot WD-40 in them about once a month. It was just an easy, cheaper way for us to seems tight.
So what are you doing?
I'm just tightening it up just a bit. Yeah, just like that. I don't want it like super tight, but I don't want it like super loose either.
How do you think it loosens?
How does it loosen?
Yeah.
By turning the other way.
No,
So,
no, Steve. How does it get loose?
oh, this, moving.
Yeah.
The camper itself, moving around in the truck bed. So right there, you see why we pay money for these, the fast guns. So I tightened it, literally like start to finish. If I wasn't talking to you, it would have been in the span of about 30 seconds. Versus some of the older systems, you have to ratchet it down, and they're cheaper, but you pay for it in your own time later on. Okay.
So it is one of our daily checks as we each walk around. If I'm on this side, I'm checking these. I'm taking a look at the tires, making sure they look good. Making sure this hubcap's on because it often comes off. Checking this. I'm generally checking inside there for distance, making sure that we haven't shifted too much, which it seems like we maybe have. So while Steve was editing the video, he realized that at some point I just stopped filming while I was talking the other day. So here's the rest of what I was saying. You know, I said it all once, but you guys just didn't hear it.
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, whatever. So what I do before we leave is, I think I already said we check to make sure these fast guns are tight. And then I just reach my hand inside the camper and I kind of measure. I put my hand like this and I kind of measure the width of the distance between the truck and the camper bed itself. And then I come up to the front and I do the same. And what I know today is that in the front I have about 4 fingers and in the back I only have about 2 fingers. So that means that just during normal travel, we do a lot of gravel, bumpy roads. So just during normal travel, the camper has shifted a little bit. It's not bad. Our center of gravity is the same. It hasn't shifted back to front. It's only shifted a little side to side. So I think we had to tighten the fast gun in the front or in the back because it was a little looser. It had shifted towards the fast gun in the back, so we did that. The other thing we check before we leave is the flashers. Steve just turns on the four-way, the emergency flasher, make sure that we have power to all of our blinkers so that we're safe.
Join us next week when we do a little day hiking and then backpack the Alcove Spring Trail in Canyonlands National Park.